Okay, let me get something out here. I made a post about women being strong. Start up as saying I was putting something straight out there. And I went on to talk about how men, and not only men, other women do it to each other too. Like to oppress how strong a woman should be. A woman can be strong, but she can only be as strong as what a man or society will allow her to be. Okay? And yeah, my wording was a bit strong. Straight up and simple. The first thing you need to realize is if women are allowed to be kept down on how strong a woman can be, everybody can. Everybody. Now, I had one guy push back, and he told me, STFU, and chill out. Why did that guy say that? I mean, at the end of the post, I put in it and commended the men who allow women to be as strong as they can be and who encourage it. My post was directed to the men who do exactly like that and did. Shut the fuck up and chill out. Why? Another man pushed back at me, and he was a little more polite about it. I was a little more polite about my pushback on him, and it ended up into a discussion. A discussion of how he is fighting for equality for black people. But straight up, plain blank, right out there. If all you are going to fight for is equality for one group, you're never going to get it. You will never get it. Why? Because there is a whole section of that one group that even the men of that group find it acceptable not to give equality to. As long as women are allowed to be oppressed and seen as lesser than men, there is always going to be somebody out there that's going to think that whole group of people are lesser than them. If a black woman is lesser than a white woman, then a black man is lesser than a white woman. If a Latino woman is lesser than a white woman, then the Latino man is going to be lesser than a white woman. If a woman is lesser than a man, whether she be white, black, purple, or green, then a white man is going to be able to look at every other race out there, every other religion out there, especially if it's a white Christian woman lesser than a white Christian man. Then every other group out there is fair game to be considered as lesser than. If you're going to hold your women down, you're going to hold down the whole group. Plain and simple. There are not more white people on this, fully white Caucasian people on this planet Earth than there are of any other race. But yet they hold that much power. Why? Because they're allowed, white men are allowed to look at the white women and see them as lesser than. And since that is perfectly okay, and women accept that, they're allowed to look at anybody who is not like them and say, they're lesser than me too. If you do not fight for the equality of women, you will never get equality for any race group. Never. The equality a woman gets determines the equality every other group out there gets. You need to wake up and realize that. Because if you don't, what you're out there marching for now is futile. You'll never get it. You've got to fight for the equality of women, and especially women in minority groups. Because if you don't, you won't get it for the men of those minority groups. You got to fight for women in minority groups to stand up and be strong. And any man that can't stand that, can't handle that, that wants to hold a woman back, don't have enough balls to be a man. The woman standing up for her rights has more balls than he does. So go ahead and yell and holler about me talking about women's equality and men's equalities and racial equality. Go ahead. You want to shut me up? You'll shut me up from certain groups. But you're not going to shut me up totally. I'll say what I want to say. I'll be who I want to be. I'm not going to have some man out there or some woman out there telling me that I am too rude when I push back against a man who pushes against me speaking up for women to be strong. Because that's how they shut all of us up. Oh, she's talking about being a strong woman. We gotta shut this down now. Let's tell her to shut the fuck up and chill the fuck out. You know, if a man stood there and ranted and raved about how women aren't women anymore, and they don't know their place no more, let me see how many people would tell that man to shut the fuck up and chill the fuck out. But a woman stands up and talks about other women being strong and standing up and being strong and complimenting men who allow that. Oh my God. She better shut the fuck up and chill the fuck out. Because she's upsetting the apple cart. No, I'm not upsetting the apple cart. Trying to open your eyes and seeing that if you do not give a woman the same equality you give a man, you will never be anything but cattle to the white supremacist. Because that's all the more a woman is to most men. We're their cattle. We're their property. We're their baby-making machines. And we need to shut the fuck up and sit back and chill out. And when we're told to do so, we're not supposed to be insulted by that. Excuse me, please, thank you. I am insulted by it. And no, I won't shut the fuck up and chill the fuck out. You don't like what I have to say? Just like when you don't like what a man has to say, turn around and walk the fuck away. It's no skin off of my back. I don't care. Because I don't measure my world according to your manlyhood. And if you can't handle that concept, tough. Because I shouldn't have to measure how strong I will be according to how strong a man will allow me to be. I should measure how strong I will be by how my confidence pushes me. So, you men out there that want to tell me to shut the fuck up and chill the fuck out, go get a pair, because mine are bigger than yours. You men that can't see that if you don't give your women the same equality you have, if you're in a minority group, you will never gain the equality you want. It'll never happen. Because your women will forever be seen as lesser than. And as long as one woman is seen as lesser than in a white supremacist group, then every group that is not them is seen as lesser than. Because they do not see their white women equal to anybody who is lower than them. They see their white women greater than you. A white man sees a white woman as being greater than any other minority group that exists out there. It's just the way it is. White man sees themselves on the top and their woman next to them. Anything other than that is beneath them. So how can you gain equality when white women see you as lesser than? And white men see her as lesser than. So you want to fight for your own equality? Then you better think about this real quick. Women, when they gained voting rights, there was less of a pushback on blacks gaining voting rights. White women. So if you're not going to push for equality for women, then you're really not pushing for equality for your own racial group. Because until white women are seen as equal to white men, no other group has a chance. And the only reason why white people have the power they do is because we've given it to them. As I said, there isn't more whites out there. There's more mean whites out there. But there isn't more white people out there than there are of any other race out there. But yet, somehow, white men got it in their head that they're superior to absolutely any other race or sex out there. How is it they got that? Look at how they've taken over nations. They didn't come in and mingle with the normal population and become equal with the population that was already in the land they came into. No, they came in barreling in and smashing everything. Just the way Trump does. He came into the White House, barreled in and smashed everything, and now he's got every Republican senator out there afraid of him, afraid to stand up to him. And that's exactly what white men have done for centuries. They've got their women afraid to stand up to them. And because their women are better than any other race, they stomp all of them down too. So you want equality. You want police brutality against black people to stop. And you want equality in society. You're not going to get it. Plain and simple. Until women have equality. And not just white women, but all women. Because to a white man, a white woman is lesser than him. So why would he give you equality if he's not gonna give his white woman equality when everybody else is lesser than her? Think about that for a minute. The fight for equality for any race in this nation is intricately connected to the fight for equality for women. Because as long as a white man can see a white woman as lesser than him, he will never give any minority group any kind of equality. Never. Because you are lesser than his white woman.